Although talk show presenter Kelly Ripa has come under fire for her rudeness toward Bachelorette Jen Tran, Arie Luyendyk Jr. claims that the conduct is consistent. A Bachelor Nation star criticizes Kelly Ripa for her interview with Jen Tran. Last week, Jen Tran promoted her season of The Bachelorette on Live with Kelly and Mark. However, a heated argument with Kelly Ripa infuriated Bachelor Nation supporters and at least one former student. While they were both on All My Children, Kelly Ripa met her husband, Mark Consuelos. Their characters, Haley and Mateo, were really one of the most well-liked pairs on the show. When Jen Tran brought up the fact that she too wants to meet her husband on TV, the former soap opera actress appeared to become agitated. Those are not interchangeable. In response to the parallel, Kelly Ripa said, "We were both professionals." Ashley Iconetti, a Bachelor in Paradise veteran, didn't like the exchange between Jen and Kelly, despite the fact that people close to the program said it was lighthearted. Kelly Ripa seemed to have an axe to grind with the franchise, she said. There are other alumni that share her opinion. Arie Luyendyk Jr. remembers his bad morning talk show experience. One of the most contentious Bachelor seasons in the dating show's history was hosted by Arie Luyendyk Jr. because he still harbored affections for his runner-up, Lauren Burnham. He famously broke up with Becca Kufrin not long after he proposed to her. During the Live After the Final Rose special, Arie proposed to Lauren after breaking up with Becca on camera. Since 2019, the couple has been married. Becca's marriage to Thomas Jacobs, whom she met on Season 7 of Bachelor in Paradise, was also a success. However, Arie Luyendyk Jr. was the public's worst enemy at the time of the sensational finale. He offered his opinion on the matter between Jen Tran and Kelly Ripa. Regarding the most recent issue, the former Bachelor made a telling remark on one of Us Weekly's Instagram postings. He didn't specify which interview he was talking about. However, a number of Bachelor Nation fans brought up the fact that Kelly Ripa has supposedly behaved impolitely in interviews and has often claimed to despise the dating show. What are your thoughts on Arie Luyendyk Jr. disclosing his past with Kelly Ripa? For years, fans of The Bachelor have seen drama, heartbreak, and television made for water cooler conversations the next day. But one moment that always lingers in the background of Bachelor Nation lore is the awkward and tense dynamic between former Bachelor star Arie Luyendyk Jr. and daytime talk show queen Kelly Ripa. Now, years after his infamous season aired, Arie is finally speaking candidly about what went down, how he felt during that time, and why his interaction with Kelly still leaves a sour taste in his mouth. The tension behind the smile. Arie Luyendyk Jr. may be known for his charm, his status as a professional race car driver, and, of course, for breaking America's heart when he called off his engagement to Becca Kufrin to pursue a relationship with runner-up Lauren Burnham. But one of the lesser-discussed moments in his career was his appearance on Live with Kelly and Ryan. At the time, Arie was at the height of his Bachelor-related infamy. Fans were outraged about his season's ending, tabloids were running daily updates, and producers seemed to relish the controversy. Appearing on Live was meant to be another PR stop on his redemption tour. Instead, Arie recalls it as one of the most uncomfortable interviews of his life. Kelly didn't even try to hide her disdain for me, Arie admitted in a recent podcast appearance. I walked on that stage, and the energy was so cold, it was like I'd walked into a freezer. I knew right away that it was going to be rough. Kelly Ripa's history with The Bachelor. To be fair, Kelly Ripa has never shied away from voicing her opinions about the Bachelor franchise. She has openly called it creepy, gross, and toxic, and she frequently reminds her viewers that she believes the show exploits contestants' emotions for ratings. Fans often laugh along with her commentary, but for contestants who have lived through the whirlwind of filming, the critiques can sting. She already had her mind made up about me before I even opened my mouth, Arie recalled. It wasn't a conversation, it was an ambush. According to Arie, what should have been light banter about roses exotic dates, and his new engagement turned into a grilling session about his choices, his motives, and the ethics of the show itself. The day it happened, Arie described walking onto the brightly lit set with a smile plastered on his face, only to be met with what he felt was open hostility. Usually, hosts will throw you a softball question first, just to warm things up. But right off the bat, Kelly went in on me, he said. She basically asked how I could live with myself after breaking Becca's heart on national television. And I hadn't even sat down properly yet. Ryan Seacrest, ever the professional co-host, tried to diffuse the situation with humor, but according to Arie, Kelly wasn't budging. It felt like she was speaking for every angry viewer out there. She said things like, women watch this show and think you're just playing with their feelings. It didn't feel like an interview, it felt like a trial. What hurt the most? While Arie admits he understands the criticism, he insists what made the experience so negative was Kelly's refusal to acknowledge his perspective. I wasn't expecting her to praise me or anything, Arie said, but I thought there would at least be some room for conversation. Instead, it was like I was the villain in her story, and she wasn't going to let me out of that box. The moment that stung the most. According to Arie, it was when Kelly implied his entire engagement to Lauren was a publicity stunt. She looked me straight in the eye and asked if I really thought I could make it work with Lauren. Arie recalled. It was so dismissive. I was sitting there with the woman I loved, trying to start our life together, and she basically told me it was fake. That hurt. The fallout. After the interview aired, fans were split. Some praised Kelly for holding Arie accountable, while others felt she had crossed a line by being so openly combative with a guest. Arie says the backlash only added to the stress he was already under. Lauren was really upset, he revealed. She watched the interview back and felt protective of me. She kept saying, "Why would she treat you like that when she doesn't even know us?" It was hard on both of us. The couple retreated from the spotlight for a while after the incident, focusing on building their relationship outside of the glare of public opinion. Today, Arie and Lauren are married with children. Proof, he says, that their love was always genuine. Looking back with new eyes. Now, with years of distance and a stable family life, Arie is able to look back at the moment with more perspective. Still, he says it remains one of his least favorite media appearances ever. I get it. People were mad at me, he said. But the thing is, I've owned up to my mistakes. I never tried to hide from them. What happened with Becca was painful for everyone involved, but it also led me to the woman I was meant to be with. I wish Kelly could have seen that instead of reducing me to the bad guy. Did Kelly go too far? Fans have debated for years whether Kelly Ripa's treatment of Bachelor contestants is tough love or unnecessary hostility. Some argue she's simply speaking her truth and holding reality stars accountable. Others believe her disdain for the franchise sometimes bleeds into outright disrespect for the individuals who appear on her show. For Arie, the experience remains a reminder of the fine line between tough questions and personal attacks. I respect that Kelly has strong opinions, he said. But at the end of the day, we're all human. I was just trying to share my story, and it felt like she didn't want to hear it. Moving forward, Arie insists he holds no personal grudge against Kelly, though he doubts he'll ever be eager to sit down with her again. Life's too short to hold on to negativity, he said. I don't need her approval. I have my wife, my kids, and my happiness. That's enough for me. Still, when asked if he would return to live with Kelly and Ryan if invited, Arie chuckled. Let's just say I won't be waiting by the phone. The lasting lesson, for Bachelor Nation fans, Arie's story is more than just gossip. It's a reminder of how tricky the line can be between entertainment and empathy. While TV thrives on controversy and conflict, the people at the center of these stories are real, with real emotions. For Arie, the negative experience with Kelly Ripa didn't define his career, but it did teach him a lesson about the challenges of navigating fame. At the end of the day, not everyone is going to like you, he said. But if you know your truth, and the people who matter believe in you. That's all you need. And so, while the roses have long since wilted and the television cameras have moved on to a new generation of contestants, Arie Luyendyk Jr. carries with him the memory of one morning talk show appearance that still makes him wince. A moment when Kelly Ripa reminded him that in the court of public opinion, the verdict is never guaranteed.